Take a look at this. You've definitely seen them before. Maybe on your morning commute, a long road trip, or even just driving through your own neighborhood. We're talking about those billboards. The ones promising big payouts, featuring smiling and sometimes serious faces, often with taglines that range from the catchy to the downright bizarre. In a wreck and need a check? One call, that's all. You know the drill. They're practically woven into the fabric of our roadside landscape. But here's the real question. Do you feel like you're seeing more personal injury law billboards now than ever? It's not just your imagination. There's a very real, very interesting reason why these billboards have taken over our highways. And it goes deeper than just a catchy slogan. To understand the billboard boom, we need to rewind a few years, specifically to the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember that time? Businesses shut down, people stayed home, and the economy, for a moment, ground to a halt. And what happens when an economy stops? Advertising budgets get slashed. Think about it. Travel companies, retail giants, restaurants, entertainment venues, industries that traditionally spend a lot on out-of-home advertising, billboards included, suddenly had no one to advertise to. Or at least their target audience wasn't out of home. So, what happened? They cut their ad budgets, and that left a gaping hole in the outdoor advertising market. This created a buyer's market. Billboard spaces, once prime real estate, were suddenly wide open and with a much lower price tag. Enter in the personal injury lawyers. While many industries were retrenching, these firms saw an opportunity. They swooped in, scooping up premium billboard locations at a discount, effectively transforming our highways into large legal directories. It was a strategic, almost opportunistic move that completely reshaped the visual landscape of our commutes. But why billboards specifically? Why not more TV ads or online banners? While those certainly play a role in their overall market strategy, there's a deeply rooted, almost intuitive reason why personal injury lawyers invest so heavily in roadside advertising. It helps them get incredibly close to a major source of their income: car accidents. Think about the typical scenario. Someone's just been in a car accident. They're shaken, probably stressed, and potentially injured. What's one of the first things they might do or think about as they leave the scene, or as they recover? Who can help me with this? And what are they seeing as they drive or are driven home? Billboards, everywhere. The data backs this up. Almost 2/3 of consumers recently recalled seeing an outdoor ad for legal services. And even more strikingly, over 40% who saw a legal service ad engaged in some way, whether it was looking up the firm online, telling a friend, or even making a direct call. This isn't just about brand recognition. It's about direct, immediate lead generation. When people are literally driving by, still processing a recent traumatic event on the same roads, the proximity of these ads is no accident. It's a calculated, effective marketing strategy. Now that we've mentioned why billboards are great for reaching people who've just been in accidents, let's narrow down that even further. It's not just any lawyer buying these up. It's often the lawyers from your very own city. Ever notice how many billboards you see feature firms based just a few miles from where you're driving? That's not a coincidence. It's a calculated strategy rooted in local expertise and consumer behavior. When someone needs a personal injury lawyer, especially after a car accident, they typically want someone local. Why? For several key reasons. First, local lawyers are perceived as having a better understanding of the local court system, the specific judges, and even the local insurance adjusters. They know the ins and outs of traffic laws and accident hotspots in your area. This local knowledge can be a significant advantage in navigating a case effectively. Second, there's a strong psychological preference for convenience and familiarity. If you've been in an accident in Phoenix, Arizona, are you more likely to call a firm advertising from New York, or the one that prominently features a Phoenix area code and claims to be Phoenix's own? The local firm implies accessibility. Their office is probably just a short drive away, making an in-person consultations easier and more reassuring for someone who might already be feeling overwhelmed. There was even a Raffi look-alike contest in Phoenix, showing just how ingrained these lawyers have become in local cultures. So these lawyers aren't just buying any billboard space. They're strategically buying up prime locations within their specific city or metropolitan area. They want to be the first name, the most recognized face, and the most convenient option for anyone who suffers an injury in that geographic zone. By saturating the local market with their presence, they aim to become the default choice, the top-of-mind solution for anyone in their community facing a personal injury claim. It's about building local brand dominance, turning roadside real estate into their personal, city-specific lead generation network. But beyond the pandemic's impact and strategic placement, there's other, perhaps more fundamental, drivers behind the billboard explosion, being the sheer market saturation. The personal injury legal landscape is incredibly crowded. Take a look at these numbers and let them sink in. In 2023 alone, there were almost 165,000 personal injury lawyers in the United States. And while that sounds like a lot, consider the other side of the equation. There are around 39.5 million personal injury cases in the US every single year. That's a massive volume of cases, but it also means an incredible number of lawyers vying for a piece of that pie. In a market this competitive, how do you stand out? How do you differentiate yourself from the firm down the street, or even the thousands of other lawyers offering similar services? You might get loud, you get visible, you get memorable. And no matter how ridiculous their ads might seem to us, they're designed to do just that, to cut through the noise and lodge themselves in the minds of potential clients. To truly grasp the current state of lawyer billboards, it's helpful to understand how lawyer advertising has evolved. For a long time, the legal profession saw advertising as undignified, even unethical. The idea was that lawyers should build a reputation on merit, not on marketing. Most of the legislation came during 1977 with the landmark Supreme Court case, Bates v. State Bar of Arizona. In that ruling, the Supreme Court declared that lawyer advertising was a form of commercial speech protected by the First Amendment. This opened the floodgates, slowly but surely transforming how legal services could be marketed. Initially, the advertising was often quite tame, simple listings and phone directories or small newspaper ads. But over the decades, as competition grew and marketing techniques became more sophisticated, the volume and creativity of legal advertising escalated. What we see today on billboards is the logical, albeit extreme, conclusion of this evolution. It's a direct reflection of a profession that, while still bound by ethical rules, has fully embraced the principles of modern marketing to reach a mass audience. It's no longer just about professional reputation, it's about market share. So, we've covered the why: pandemic-driven opportunity, strategic placement near accidents, and intense market competition. But let's take a moment to consider how and the impact. These billboards aren't just there, they're designed to grab your attention. Bright colors, bold fonts, memorable faces. They're a masterclass in direct response advertising. They appeal to a very specific, often vulnerable audience. Someone who has just experienced a trauma, like a car accident, isn't necessarily in a position to calmly research dozens of law firms. They need a clear, immediate solution. And these billboards offer just that: a name, a number, and a promise of help. The quote-unquote no fee unless we win model, often advertised prominently, further reduces the perceived risk for potential clients. However, this aggressive marketing style isn't without its critics. Some argue that it contributes to the commodification of legal services, reducing a complex and nuanced profession to a catchy slogan and a phone number. There are ethical considerations too. While lawyer advertising is protected speech, it must still be truthful and not misleading. Promises of millions or implying guaranteed outcomes can cross ethical lines, even if subtly. The American Bar Association and state bar associations have rules in place to govern this, but the sheer volume and creative liberties taken on billboards often push those boundaries. It raises questions about whether these ads genuinely inform the public or simply encourage a more litigious culture. So, the next time you're driving down the highway and you see another larger-than-life image of an attorney demanding your attention, you'll know it's not just a random act of advertising. It's the combination of economic shifts, strategic targeting, intense competition, and the evolving nature of the legal profession itself. These billboards are quite fascinating, and sometimes bewildering. They reflect our consumer society and the ways industries adapt to compete for our attention. even in moments of vulnerability. They are a permanent fixture on our roadsides, a constant reminder of both the widespread need for legal services and the relentless drive of a competitive market. And love them or hate them, one thing's for sure: you're not likely going to stop seeing them anytime soon. The billboards are here to stay. What are your thoughts on injury lawyer billboards? Have you noticed a lot of them recently? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.